See something supersized here. If Large can bed the ball. Oh, what a shot that is. It's over to you, Reece, Colley. Your darting destiny is in your own hands. Double top. That showed guts. That showed real guts from Reece Colley.
He's threading a few. The ton plus outs tonight. And finally pins one. The 107 goes and Dudbridge strikes first. He leads 1-0.
Hi there, good evening and welcome along to Group B here at the Modus Super Series. Those three players you just saw are about to get their campaigns underway for this week. Jimmy Van Schie and Andy Davidson also in action, two winners in the previous series. And speaking of winners, I've got one alongside me, Scott Mitchell. Welcome along. It's been an interesting week so far. I'm sure you've been watching plenty of it, and if you haven't, you certainly heard about a guy called Richie Burnett, who of course is already through to finals night.
Yeah, absolutely. Those first couple of days that he had there in Group A, he really sort of stamped his mark on it, and it's lovely to see him here playing so well and enjoying himself as well. You know, you see many sides of Richie Burnett, and we're probably going to see some more of him on Saturday night.
Yeah, I won't see him today or tomorrow, but we did see Shane McGurk in action this afternoon. He, like Killian McCormack, won 4 out of 5 in Group C, and well, they're both sitting pretty, aren't they, going into the final day of that group? Yeah,
well, I was surprised to see McGurk in Group C, to be honest. I thought he'd sort of played fairly well in Group A and can sort of see himself a little unfortunate to be in Group C. And McCormack today, you know, to get level with him, actually beat him 4-3, but McCormack had the darts as well. So, you know, McGurk's got a chance to get him back tomorrow with the darts.
Certainly has. Let's just show you the story of the week in full. This is how things have broken down. Burnett straight through to finals, not having won Group A. Group C this afternoon, we've just mentioned McGurk and McCormack both leading the way there, but Miok, Ritchie, Walker and Patel out to stop them from 1 p.m. tomorrow. But tonight, Group B getting underway. Charlie Large, Mark Dudbridge, Reece Colley, Jimmy Van Schie and Andy Davidson. There is plenty of quality on show this evening.
Yeah, there is, and they've all had a little bit of something here when they've been here previously. So we remember Andy Davidson on his debut. He just won the week, made the final. It was just a whirlwind week for him. And sometimes when you come back after having such a good time here, there's a little bit of pressure that you put on yourself, and maybe that's why he sat there in Group B and maybe didn't get through Group A. But I tell you, he's one to watch.
He certainly is. Flying the flag for your fellow seniors. Sorry to bring that up, but Mark Dudbridge. He's playing some decent stuff, isn't he, at his ripe old age?
Well, you keep saying that, but you're only as old as you feel. Look, he's one of those 180 hitters. He loves 180 hits. He follows his first dart really well, and that's what's given him his longevity in his career. And yeah, he loves the competition. He loves playing the younger lads, so he'll just come in here tonight and do his best to step up, go with them, and if not, dominate them.
And one lad that you know particularly well, Reece Colley, England teammate. What do you make of his chances?
Yeah, roommated for him with 6 days in Denmark. Reece can be a little bit of feast or famine at times, but I think he's just become, you know, he became a dad a few months back, and that's made him as a player. It's made him put the game in perspective, and I think we're going to see a little bit more from him this week. You know, he's got a couple of days to prove himself. Group B is a difficult one. You know, the games come thick and fast. When you've been in Group A before and Group C before, you know, you can't really afford to lose 2 in a row in this Group B. So he's going to have to be on his game because it's one of those groups that is very, very evenly matched.
You mentioned Andy Davidson. He won his week in the previous series. So did Jimmy Van Schie, the Dutchman, and he played some really good stuff in Group A. And, of course, has been winning stuff in the WDF as well. So he shouldn't be discounted, should he?
No, absolutely not. And the group that he was in with Group A, it's very difficult to stay consistent because you're playing all sorts of players. I mean, Richie Burnett, you talk about, I played him a couple of weeks ago. Very difficult to watch. And some players watch each other, some don't. Maybe Jimmy watched a little bit because he didn't know all the players. But he's been an extreme talent for the last 5 or 6 years. And it's now time for him to put the hammer down and show what he's got.
Certainly is. A difficult group to decide who should win it. So we're going to have a look and see what the bookies think in this group. And Mark Dudbridge is made the favourite, but there's not an awful lot between all of the 5 players in this group. Scott, what does that tell us?
Well, it tells us that they see it like we see it, as a very even group, and it's about one of them, you know, clamping and commanding the group. They've got to You've got to get out of the traps and get your first couple of wins under your belt and settle yourself down. Then you could throw with a bit of freedom. They'll all be a bit tight, those first games, and we'll see. I think it's going to be... Dudbridge is good value because he's Mr. Consistent, isn't he? So I could see why they've gone that way, but there's a smidgen between them, and I think that's the way I see it for the next 2 nights.
Please gamble responsibly, 18+, begambleaware.org. Of course, they were the odds to win the group, but 3 go through from this group. Who do you see progressing at the end of tomorrow night?
Again, you're probably looking at the top 3 on there. Charlie Large, can he get through? Yes, of course he can. He's got the ability, but I think if I was Charlie, I've got to go with that and go, do you know what? Yeah, I am the underdog in this group. I'm going to milk this for all it's worth, and I'm going to play with no pressure, play with loads of freedom, and there's no reason why he can't get out of this group anyway.
Right, that's what you think. Let's see what he thinks. I had a little chat with Charlie Large, who's in action in the opening match tonight. Charlie, welcome back to the Super Series. I know it was a late call-up, a late replacement for Daryl Fitton. How's the preparation been?
Yeah, bit up and down my game in a minute. One minute I'm hitting 100 average, the next I'm hitting a 75, 80, but we all know we can hit the 100 averages, that's why. But we can also have the 80, 75, that's why we're here, not on the Pro Tour.
That's obviously, this has come out of the blue, as I said, is it this kind of thing that can maybe spark you to get to that next level?
Yeah, well, I was in Wigan when I got the message saying, can you play next week? And yeah, why not? I'm only about 5 minutes down the road anyway, so I'll always take it.
And with that in mind, of course, trying to get through to a Saturday is a maybe even bigger thing for you, isn't it? Because you can get lots of friends and family here. You had that experience once before you got through to a semi-final. Just talk about how big that was for you.
Yeah, it was big. All my family down here, my cousin. If I'm honest, I took the semi-final too easily. I played all right in the groups, but semi-final, my head went right in that.
What would it mean to you to get the chance to put that right on Saturday this week?
Yeah, I mean, I bring a couple of my mates down, my cousins, my family, but it's an hard group. We all know that, but I know I'm capable of getting through.
And just finally, what are your thoughts on this group? You've been in the practice room, you know who you're up against. What's the plan? Yeah,
I knew Mark, Reece, Jimmy. I knew them all. Andy, just met him, nice bloke. But yeah, should be a good group.
Well, good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, Charlie Large had just met Andy Davidson. He's going to meet him again now on the stage. It's the opening match of tonight's 10. The Portsmouth player takes on the Super Scot who won at the Super Series in the last stage. Large getting a late call-up. Some of you who tuned in last week may have seen that Daryl Fitton was slated to play, but unfortunately Fitton was unable to join us, but the Dazzler's loss is Large's gain, and he's certainly come prepared for the occasion. Brand new haircut and all, which I am reliably informed was done especially for this occasion. Didn't you think you'd get away with that, did you, Charlie? 19-year-old World Youth Finalist went to the barber, asked for the Scott Mitchell, that's what he got. And Andy Davidson, his opponent in this
first
one, the
leg,
Edinburgh
it's
race,
Charlie to throw first. Game on.
ready to begin his bid to make it through to another finals night.
Well, welcome back, Scott. Yeah, I don't know how I got dragged into that.
135.
But yes, I do actually like the style. I did try to get mine sorted like that, but unfortunately then the heat came back and no, I had to go to the hairdressers and get it all mowed off again. But yeah, very 1990s Backstreet Boys style, that hairstyle.
Yeah, mysterious curls, I would call them.
140.
Now, what about this guy, Andy Davidson, Scott? Because he came from seemingly nowhere. ADC qualifier in the previous series, really made an impression.
54.
Won his week, came to Champions Week, and now, well, everyone does know how good he is, but it isn't seeming
100.
to stop him playing well.
No, and what I liked about that week was his actual... He was genuinely surprised to see how well he was doing. I remember being on commentary
60.
that week and
Andy
he was getting asked the
121.
questions and he was going, well, I don't know. I've never played this well before. It was the strangest of
Game
things.
shot on a first
And there we go.
leg. Andy
Never played this
Davidson.
well before, but he keeps continuing to do it. 111 shot.
Second leg, it's Andy to throw first. Game on.
Oh no, 1-2-1, sorry. Yeah, first time out. Lovely jubbly.
140.
Caught me out there mid-chat. We were just saying all nice things about him, and out he goes on 1-2-1, first leg.
Dozen data.
85.
And he did actually say, those who were watching earlier in the week, he felt that he would perform better in Group B. He really played well last time he was in Group B.
134.
Felt that he comes alive at night.
It is strange as a player when you convince yourself, or you say, oh yeah, I prefer to play this
22.
group or that group, and you drop in it. It does give you that little lift, you know. It really is quite strange. A lot of players really don't like Group
85.
B. There's more often than not, people would rather not be in Group B. They'd rather be in Group C because it's, like you say, it's during the day. It's a more normal
100.
time that you would
And you
play in other
require
tournaments and events at
142.
weekends. So, and once you start convincing yourself, yeah, actually, I'm a 10 o'clock at night
62.
player. That suits me. You then start to perform.
He has got Richie Burnett to thank, of course. Burnett beat Shane McGurk in a last leg decider.
180.
That's large. Gets a
And
large
you
one.
require 80.
He went for two tops, Davidson. Yeah,
40.
Burnett beat McGurk in a
Charlie
last leg
require
decider in the penultimate
114.
match of Group A, and that meant that Davidson came to Group B and McGurk went into Group C. So he won't mind at the moment. Great campaign today from Shane McGurk. Large looking at tops. What a
Game shot on the
start to this
second
match.
leg.
What a start
Charlie
to this
Large.
night.
Two young men, very confident in their abilities.
Third leg. It's Charlie to throw first.
Absolutely going
Game on.
toe-to-toe here. First game this evening of Group B. If this is anything to go by, we have a
47.
corker of a night in prospect.
It's rat-a-tat-tat, isn't it? They're getting on with it. No messing around and no
100.
missing, really. 121 checkout, answered by the 114 from Large in breaking back.
43.
I remember when he made it through to that finals night, he did bring a big posse with him.
96.
Yeah, he's only 5 minutes up the road. He probably sends a Christmas card to his hairdresser.
93.
And then it's me who only goes to the hairdresser at Christmas.
140.
Unfortunately from Davidson there.
80.
Leaves him on a bogey, but still very much looking good for the break.
133.
32 after 12. Not a lot Charlie Large can
60.
do about this at the
And you
moment.
require 32. Game shot on the third leg.
13
Andy
dart
Davidson.
leg. A 114 shot out in one leg, a 1-2-1 in the other. Now a 13 dart
Fourth
leg.
leg. It's Andy to throw first. Game on.
Look at those numbers.
100.
The numbers for Davidson are astounding.
97. 97. 96. 96.
Large chasing Davidson here. May have to fill this up.
162.
Yeah, impressive. From Large and all the throw. All
60.
the legs have gone against the
Charlie
throw so
require
far.
146.
$85 for Large left.
86. And he
Sensible
require
dart.
148. 75. Charlie
Also a
requires
sensible
60.
dart.
We may have to be careful with the first one here. Not easy. He's going to have maybe 2/3 to aim
Game
at, and he
shot on the
finds the
fourth
available
leg.
space.
Charlie
It's
Large.
break. And Large lands level.
4 legs,
Fifth flag.
4
It's Charlie
breaks a
to throw
throw.
first. Game on.
I just cast my mind back to that finals night he made. It was in
100.
November of last year, just after Bonfire Night.
100.
And he got through his group quite well, but he was disappointed in the semi-final. He referenced in that interview he'd smashed Jared Cole in the group stage.
55.
And then he went down to the same 4-1 scoreline to Nico Bloom, who was probably one of the most surprising finalists
36.
that we had in that series. He managed to get his way through to the final before being beaten by Willie Ball, and you may remember Nico was famous here for blowing his
81.
darts into the board.
Yeah, another one of the characters that we found here at the Super Series.
It was a finals night actually that
36.
included a couple of players that went on to get tour cards in the winner Borland and Thibaut Tricolt, who actually went out in the group stages that night. The Frenchman, of course, playing at the moment in the World Cup of Darts. But Andy Davidson may be the one producing the big numbers. Charlie Large
100.
is not
Charlie
backing
required
down.
94.
No, he is not.
You don't see that often, do you? Charlie Large in this match has had
45.
a visit where he's had 3 treble 20s, a visit where he's had 3 treble 19s, and one where he's had 3 treble 18s.
97. Charlie, you require
I
49.
wonder if he'll head off to the 17s at the start of the next leg. Would be very interested indeed. He loves tops.
29. Andy, you require 132.
Oh, look at all that space. Couldn't find it.
67. Charlie, you require 20. Game shot on the
Large
fifth
can
leg.
find the red
Charlie
bed
Large.
there, and he leads this match.
With the first hold of throw this evening.
Sixth leg. It's Andy to throw first. Game on.
That's maybe why the odds compilers could not seem to separate the players in this group.
38.
I have to admit, a few people's attention was pricked when they saw Large
121.
almost as short as the rest of the field. They felt he maybe should have been larger, if you pardon the pun.
100.
Yeah, moved out there. I think he was unsure that the second dart was going to hold on.
82.
Well, Large here showing signs of being the next big thing at the Super Series. We've had Littler.
95.
Now he's got Large.
Maybe we should have a pairs week and put
85.
Littler and Large together.
Charlie require 146.
Have we got a Laurel and Hardy been playing?
59.
Well, Large is going to get the opportunity to defeat Davidson. This would be a bit of a shock.
140. Charlie require
Davidson just has a
87.
habit of doing that, doesn't he? Hitting a big score to put you right under, but 2 at 36. Yeah, it's there, Charlie, it's there. And
Game
so
shot
is
on the
that.
match.
An
Charlie
impressive
Large.
start from Charlie Large. Andy Davidson there threw everything bar the kitchen sink at him, and Large still managed to come through. 90 average for Charlie Large and a 94 for Davidson. And holding the throw there was a rarity in that match. We're going to head off to a short break, and when we return, we will bring with you the legend Mark Dudbridge taking on Jimmy Van Schie.
Well, the opening game was over in a flash. Charlie Large and Andy Davidson duking it out over 6 fantastic legs, and Large getting the better of the score in the opener. Now, speaking of Large, Jimmy Van Schie in action. The Dutch giant who finished second to Richie Burnett in Group A earlier this week. He takes on Flash himself, the former World Master and World Championship finalist. Mark Dudbridge back at the Super Series for another tilt at the title. Standing in his way is that man there who's had some great success, notably here at the Super Series, winning a week, which is something that Dudbridge is yet to do, though the brilliant Bristolian has got plenty of accolades to his name, including that run to the final at the Circus Tavern in 2005. Van Schie, with victories on the WDF circuit of late, he's set for a lakeside debut of his own. But first, he's off to a return to Champions Week here at the Super Series. Can he make it 2 weekly wins in a row? We will find out. First job, make it to Saturday, and we've already seen from the opening match that in this group, that is not going to be easy.
No, this group has a bit of everything. We said it at the top of the show.
100.
The Buckies could not split them, and Dudbridge, the young 51-year-old, still 3 years younger than me, by the way.
100.
He had a lovely run at the Circus Tavern.
He's much fancied in a lot of those seniors events, isn't he, Scott? He hit a 9-darter in one of them. He's had good success on the floor
96.
events.
He's just that type of player, isn't he? He's just one that doesn't seem to worry about the hype of anything and anybody. He never really has. Just gets on with it,
58.
does his thing, and I know this time round we had a chat a little while back at one of the seniors, and he said it's lovely that that his kids can understand now,
138.
you know, what it was all about, and they can see him and watch him and kind of realise who Dad was back in the day, sort of thing. It was absolutely lovely to have a chat with him about
100.
sort of things that are personal to him like that. He's
167.
a top man.
Well, here we go. Here we go. Oh, so close.
142. Mark, you
Jimmy
require
Van Schie special.
143.
So not going to go this time for Dudbridge, but if we look at to pressure that 25.
60. Jimmy, you require 25.
Double 10 then for Van Schie.
Game shot on the
And
first
in
leg.
similar
Jimmy
fashion
Van Schie.
to the opening match, a break in the opening leg.
Yeah, Jimmy Van Schie with his height is one of those
Second
that always
leg.
looks
It's
like
Jimmy
he's
to
throwing
throw
downhill.
first. Game on.
Another unearthed talent coming through that ADC system and
100.
strutting his stuff on the Super Series stage. And well, quite a lot of tickets have already been sold for Saturday night, and I'm sure many of them are Jimmy Van Schie's Portsmouth fan club, because he did really sort of
100.
endear himself to the people that came to watch his winning week. One of the most entertaining Saturday nights we've seen. And if you would like to be here supporting Van Schie or any other player, maybe
140.
getting a taste of the balmy brilliance of Burnett, then all you've got to do is scan that QR code, pay your £2, and you will have a front row seat. And we are an intimate venue, so every seat is a front row seat here at the Live Lounge.
182.
Yeah, Jimmy is one of those that he endears himself on every person that he meets. I met him as a youth player
108.
back in the day, and here we go, back-to-back 180s. These two now throwing the kitchen sink at one another.
Well, Mark Dudbridge is very much the maximum man, isn't he? He has the record for the most 180s.
95.
Super
Jimmy,
Series
you
match.
require
7 he hit in
81.
one game. I mean, 7 legs.
But when you watch his darts, they just seem to slide together, don't they? They don't sort of deflect off of one another. The shape, the way they work.
49. Mark, you require 126.
Well, Jimmy there. He was on 81 and he decided not to
98.
leave the bullseye.
Jimmy, you require
Dudbridge on
32.
126.
Yeah, brave move, but we will now see whether it was a good move.
Game
Of course
shot on
it
a
was.
second leg.
Knew
Jimmy
exactly what he was
Schie.
doing.
Third leg.
So
It's
a couple
Mark
of holes to throw
first.
to open up in
Game
this
on.
match 2 of week 4, Group B. So far,
100.
the action has been fast and furious, and once again, the numbers are pretty spectacular.
It's a great group, actually, isn't it? It's going to be speedy
93.
this tonight. Look, you look at the only player that hasn't played yet is Reece, Colley, and he is no slouch.
$83.
Davidson played very well in the first game. It didn't earn him any points, but Schie is making his presence felt here. He keeps going. He keeps piling them in.
180.
That's his second of the match. We are only 2 legs in, halfway down the third.
42.
Is he going to out 180? The 180 king in flash.
$84.
One 4-4 for 3 zip. Dudbridge trying to work his way back into this third leg.
140. Jimmy,
Does
you
it quite
require
nicely.
144.
The throw's been turned by Schie with the 180.
$58. Mark, you require 136. $78. Jimmy, you require 86.
Well, you definitely go for the bullseye now. Well, you won't need to. 7-7.
72. Mark, you require 58.
Needs to go just on the 18. And I think that affected his dart at tops,
26. Jimmy, you require 14.
Well, if there's been one area where Jimmy Schie has come up short this week, it's been the doubles low down on the board. He has had a few problems with those.
Game shot on a third
Wow.
leg. Jimmy Schie.
No problem there. Managed to bounce it in off the barrel.
Well, it
Fourth
looked,
leg. It's Jimmy
it
to
looked
throw
to me
first.
like he was in all sorts
Game
of problems there with that dart being so close, but his flight there seemed to just drag it into the double.
100.
And it was a favour deflection that time, a favour deflection rather than one that goes against him. It's so easy to bounce off the flight and went in
60.
to the big 7 and leave him without a dart next time round. But he's nailed it. It wasn't to be, and he really, really is on it.
140.
Like we said at the top of the show, is he feeling a little unfortunate to be in this group?
96.
Yeah, it was just too difficult to catch Richie Burnett when
140.
he went through the card on each of the first 2 days. Everyone else was playing for second and third, weren't they? Burnett was beaten on Wednesday. He was beaten a couple of times.
100.
And one of them was by Jimmy
require
Schie. Got a 4-2 win
121.
against the Prince and Pride of Wales.
41.
Could be some animation on stage on Saturday if those two end up going head to head.
Animation, fireworks, whatever you want to call them, but it will be
94.
there. Should
Jimmy, you require
make it.
80.
Well, Mark Dudbridge, I remind you, was the favourite to win this group before a dart was thrown tonight.
60. Mark, you require 150.
It's very difficult to come in on your first match against somebody that's been here all week as well.
Dudbridge still trying to feel his way
91.
into
Jimmy, you require 20.
week 4 of Series 8. Jimmy Van Schie has found his feet in Group B. But can he find double 5?
15.
No is the answer.
Mark, you require
Well, he
60.
moved over to the left there to get an angle at the double 10, and rather than move back, he had a stab at double 5 from where he was stood. Now, I'm sure he won't have practiced that, but tops now for
Game shot on a
Dudbridge,
full
and
flag, Mark Dudbridge.
that one will hurt Van Schie. But yeah, Jimmy went across, and I expected him to like level up and go back
Fifth
across,
flag,
but
it's
maybe
Mark to throw first. Game on.
he just didn't fancy that. Maybe that's what he usually does. He just stay there when he moves and not go back to his original throwing position. I will keep my eye on it for the rest
59.
of the evening and see if it happens again. But usually a player would then step back to their usual throwing position on an open target. And
140.
his fifth 140 in 4 legs for Van Schie. Storing for him is not an issue. The doubles haven't been an issue
50.
until that last one.
We can still see, though, Mark Dudbridge is feeling far from comfortable. Don't know if he's having a few problems with the heat.
100.
Sort of feeling his collar. He was sort of looking at his hands there, suggesting there might be a little bit of perspiration causing the darts to slip. But he is fantastic like this when he just rolls that dart in his fingers and then propels it one after the other.
Well, by modern standards, the dart that Dudbridge uses is very smooth by modern standards, and the grips and stuff that we see today. So it could well be that that's the
80.
case, and
Jimmy, you require
you have the luxury of being in an air-conditioned commentary box.
81. Mark, you require 132.
Big moment. Big dart. At the ball.
82.
Wasn't really worth the big build-up, was it?
Absolutely, we'll
require
never really
40.
know where that was going. Don't think it was in the middle, though.
Oh, well. It's like a
Game
fairground
shot.
game
Unmatched.
towards the end of
Jimmy
this
Van
match.
Schie.
But Van Schie is the one that takes the big teddy bear away with him. The 4-1 win for the Dutchman. Mark Dudbridge, favourite before a dart was thrown. He won't be now, as Van Schie gets a big win. 97.4 the average. Very strong stuff from him. And that is with 9 darts missed at double as well in the game. Dudbridge with work to do, but he will have the chance to turn his night around against Andy Davidson in a couple of games' time. Before that, though, Charlie Large, who beat Davidson in Game 1, will take on Reece Colley. Charlie, welcome back to the Super Series.
So, there's the logo, tells you where you're watching. It's the Modus Super Series here from the Lies Lounge in Portsmouth. And if you've just joined us, you missed a cracker of a game. Jimmy Van Schie going out 4-1 winner against Mark Dudbridge in their first matches of Group B this evening. But now we head to Game 3 on the evening, and Reece Colley taking on Charlie Large, the local lad from Portsmouth. Charlie already played in Game 1 and ran out 4-2 winner against Andy Davidson, so he has 2 points on the table already. But that sort of thing doesn't worry a laid-back thrower like Reece Colley.
He's had his runs here as well, Reece Colley.
First leg, it's Reece to throw first. Game on.
Jack Garwood, the referee, overseeing proceedings this evening.
$100.
Great job he does calling out the scores and keeping order on the stage.
80. $140.
Remember Reece Colley in the previous series got through a Group C. We saw it at the top of the show. He needed to beat Dave Ladley in his last match
100.
and did to get through to the finals night.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing here is that
45.
both lads are actually throwing with different equipment than they used in our earlier promo, so the progression means that
83.
been picked up by some brands, and yeah, good for them. That's what the
90.
Modus Super Series can do for you.
Interestingly, that finals night I mentioned was the finals night that Jimmy Van Schie won, but Colley didn't play him that evening. He lost in his
60.
group games against
Reece
Tom
require
Sykes
126.
and old Wolfie Martin Adams.
Both those players too have been two of my England
98.
teammates. Tom obviously this year, and Wolfie back a few years ago. That was the record, I think, of England caps.
60.
Wolfie in about
Reece require
120, which is
28.
absolutely astonishing.
Game shot on the first leg.
Well,
Reece
Colley
Colley.
works his way into that one. Takes the lead against Large, and I think we are going to
Second
see
leg, it's Charlie to throw first.
just why the bookies could
Game
hardly
on.
separate all 5 players in this group. I'll tell you what, it's an evening that's going to be over pretty quickly, isn't it, Scott? They
97.
do get on with it. All of them.
Absolutely. If obviously there's a lot of European football going on at the minute, and
85.
lots of sweepstakes being run on the football. If you had a sweepstake tonight, you really wouldn't mind which player you picked out of it, should you be part of one.
140. $121.
Looks to be a lot of purpose in the
140.
demeanour of Charlie Large so far tonight. He's taken blows, he's lost legs, and he's pretty much bounced back straight away every single time.
25.
He's coming across as a young man that's starting to
Charlie
learn the
require
trade, isn't it?
124.
And taking things in. He's not disappointed, and he shouldn't be disappointed when things happen to him when he's playing, because you've got to take it in as the
78.
learning curve, and he's certainly done that here in his past visits at the Super Series, and he, like you say, he looks just more assured maybe than anything else.
Or to use a tired
85.
cliche,
Charlie
maybe
require 46.
this is the week where we do see the boy become the man.
26.
I mean, 19's an old person now in this game, isn't it? All the superstars are 17.
96.
Jensen Walker this afternoon.
Charlie, you require 20. Game shot on a second
it's
leg.
level.
Charlie Large.
As Large hits back.
Yeah, you mentioned Jensen there, was at
Third
the World
leg.
Cup
It's Reece to throw
last
first.
year when he won the
Game on.
youth singles. big moments for him, that, and he's just gone on from it, Jensen Walker. He's
92.
learned it. He's just gone on, and an out lovely fella with it as well. Just concentrates on his darts, gets on with it.
100.
We are going to announce next week's lineup
57.
during tonight's show. And let me tell you that we are going to have a 16-year-old
46.
sensation on the stage. We've been here before.
A deja vu moment, could it be?
45.
I can't spell deja vu, by the way. Somebody told me a big word like that.
135.
Just keep repeating it. You'll get it right eventually.
100.
I can't remember who even told me. Maybe I'll have a deja vu. Remember.
Again, it's really good, this from Charlie Large.
108.
By far the best I've seen him play on this stage.
100. Charlie, you require 40. $20. Reece, you require 107.
Well, Colley could still pinch this, but he can't now.
43. Charlie, you require 20. Game shot on the third leg. Charlie Large.
I'm not sure whether I'm opening Pandora's box here, Scott, but Reece Colley is
Fourth leg. It's Charlie
nicknamed
to throw
Chaos, and
first.
you shared
Game
at the top
on.
of the show that you were his roommate. Is the nickname apt? Is it right?
Absolutely.
100.
Absolutely. But in a nice way. His chaos isn't problematic. His chaos is just him being him.
97.
He was a pleasure to room with. He
81.
really was. It was just when you came to come home, it was very difficult to fit all the stuff that he left behind in your suitcase to bring it home for him. And
96.
yeah, he nearly sent me over the weight limit, and I nearly had to play a few dollars to get my case back. But just to let you
47.
know, it was we had 20 kilo baggage allowance. So by the time I put all his stuff in to bring it back, I was on 19.9 kilos. So I
98.
just got away with it without having to put a couple of pairs of pants on over me trousers to get through.
119.
Well, thanks for getting involved in the chat. We haven't had time to acknowledge you yet because the players have been that quick and that
70.
good quality. The
Charlie, you
Ego
require
Chip is in again, and
154.
thanks for joining us. He says it would be good to see another prodigy pass through Modus. Well, we might find one or two, you know. It is the perfect setting to do
64.
so.
Reece, you require 140.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that statement. And yeah, agree with the comment. It would be nice.
45. Charlie, you require
The series
90.
is definitely a good stomping ground for anybody looking to learn.
$82. Reece, you require 95.
95 then for Colley to claw his way back. May go double 19 twice. That was the intention.
79.
Now he wishes he'd
Charlie,
gone for
you
treble
require
20.
8.
Yeah, you throw that last one with a bit of relax, don't you? And a bit of freedom, because you know you're not going to get
Game
another
shot on the
dart at
fourth
it.
flag.
And
Charlie Large.
Charlie Large is impressing me. I know that Paul Starr says he's the best player in the area.
Fifth flag. It's Reece to throw first. Game on.
If he carries on playing like this, Paul Starr might be on stage
45.
at Champions Night, emceeing Charlie Large as the Super Series champion.
57. 135.
It's a very rich area as well, isn't it, in darting terms?
80.
There are plenty of players who play to a good standard, but right now, Charlie Large is the man they all want to be.
85. 96. 108.
Colley, just reminding everybody that this is not one-way traffic. It's not a one-man match.
128. Reece require 56.
You have to go clean here, don't you? Nice and early.
Game
Lovely
shot on
job.
the fifth flag. Reece
You have to
Colley.
do that clean. To just let your opponent know that if I
Sixth
get another
flag, it's
dart,
Charlie
don't
to
let
throw
me have another
first.
one, and then
Game on.
that can sometimes pressure your opponent before they've even thrown a dart.
$99.
Good last there from Charlie Large.
Well, just a reminder of what's happened so far. Large
100.
beat Andy Davidson in the opening match of the night, a 4-2 win for Charlie. And then Jimmy Van Schie got the better of Mark Dudbridge
58.
4-1. Played very well in that game. Large here, 3-2 up in game 3. Davidson will duel
82.
with Dudbridge after this.
Nice pace in this game. They're playing at a pace where it
99.
suits each other.
$44.
Chance for Charlie Large here to put daylight between him and
$59.
Reece Colley. Needs a treble.
43.
His last two throws could well cost him this match. The two trebleless visits.
$98. $100.
This
Charlie
then
require 88.
to make it 2 from 2. The bullseye
63.
on the green, but
Reece
not
require
quite in the hole.
132.
Reece Colley will start on the bullseye here. Treble 19. He's not going to get back at the
104.
bullseye, but
Charlie require
Does leave.
25.
a double. Pressure on then for Large.
Game shot.
He's been
and
superb
match.
on that double
Charlie
10 this
Large.
evening in his first two matches. He seals the win with that double 10 as well. He'll be pleased with his night's work so far. That's 2 out of 2 for him. He won't be too worried about the average. 4 from 11 on his doubles. It's a win, more importantly, for him. He now tops the table. We're going to head into a short break when we will return with Andy Davidson versus Mark Dudbridge.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Andy Davidson is about to do battle with Mark Dudbridge. A pair of them looking for the first points in the group, having gone down in their opening matches. Davidson 4-2 to Charlie Large, who's already won 2 games after that 4-2 win against Reece, Colley to follow it. And Mark Dudbridge, well, he lost 4-1 to Jimmy Van Schie. There is a possibility that after this match, the man who was favourite for the group may become the outsider, and the man who was the outsider might have just become the favourite. That is how ridiculous
First leg, it's Andy
this
to throw
group
first.
could be.
Game on.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
100. 55. 45.
'As I said at the top of the show,
59.
Dudbridge having lost his first game, you don't really want to be losing 2 in a row in this group.
60.
Davidson obviously went down to Charlie Large in game 1. Our first match of the evening. So both players, this is a massive
100.
game for them.
Well, yeah, after this, you've played a quarter of your matches
96.
in this group. Of course, the advantage is more players go through with a group that has a field of fewer, but you don't have as long, do you? You don't play as many games.
137.
If you are caught cold, you might not catch up. And one of these players will lose their opening 2 games. You can be sure
94.
of that.
Mark, you require 150.
He's very much a first start merchant. Here's Mark Dudbridge. He's
94.
really good at
And you require
following
106.
those second and third darts are like sheep.
74. Mark, you require 56.
And he may be about to land the first leg here against a throw as well.
Game shot on the first leg. Mark Dudbridge.
Just saw in the background there Andy Davidson's head drop as soon as he saw that double go in.
Second leg.
Is he
It's Mark
already
to throw
starting to
first.
worry?
Game on.
No, I don't think he is. I just think that he was not wanting to lose his own throw to open
100.
up. I think that he realises now that the throw here in this short format is an advantage, and you've got to
125.
take advantage of it and try not to lose your first throw, because it then throws it straight back, the advantage to your opponent. But as we know, with the old Super Series saying, a break is only a break if you hold your own throw after.
180.
Super speed at the Super Series and super skill from Andy Davidson. One of the unearthed diamonds.
97.
He did confirm
100.
when we spoke to him
Mark, you
earlier in the
require
week that he will be
164.
attending the PDC qualifying school next January.
$58.
Yeah, that could
Andy,
well
you
be the
require
who's who of the
96.
Super Series in that room that weekend.
Game shot on the second leg. Andy Davidson.
Well, that's how he did it, and he was doing stuff like this in his first game. He had a 12 and a 13
Third
darter.
leg,
They
it's
were the
Andy
2
to
legs
throw
that he won,
first.
so he's won 3 legs
Game
all
on.
night, 11, 12, 13.
140.
He could still get the 10 and the 9 and not pick up any points.
$100. 100.
Nice last dart there from Dudbridge. Used the previous two to guide his way in.
60.
Davidson, with the way that he throws his darts very flat, he is more hopeful of a lower dart than the higher dart. The one on the top wire
82.
means that Davidson generally has to move. As we can see, even inside the top wire he has to move.
141.
Nicely picked up there by our referee Jack.
$99. Andy, you require 60.
That'll be no problem for him. His darts do lay flat.
Game shot on the third
He
leg.
can go
Andy
over or
Davidson.
under, no trouble at all. And he takes the lead here against Dudbridge.
Fourth flag. It's Mark to throw first. Game on. $60. $96.
Davidson much more settled at a quicker pace. This one's all about
86.
pace of the game, and Dudbridge has been around a long time now. You will not shuffle him along. He will play at what pace he is
45.
going to play. And that will be that.
Or maybe he'd be quite wise to do that tonight, just to slow it down a little bit. Everybody's very eager, aren't they, this evening? And Dudbridge could just,
59.
well, not to go back there, but to play the old man a little bit.
Yeah, it's all right playing methodical. You've still got to
100.
hit the numbers. That's the point. It doesn't hurt unless you're hitting those trebles and those doubles at the right time.
$43.
Players can get moved along at the same rhythm as their opponent. We saw it actually with Jimmy Van Schie earlier in the week.
100.
He played a much slower game against Killian McCormack than he did, for example, against Andy Davidson.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in it, and sometimes it, like I say, a slow player can be dragged on as well and make them throw a little bit
81.
quick, particularly
Andy, you require
if the slower
160.
player starts to win the game. He can get dragged along at the other player's pace. And
75.
playing a little bit more methodical has that given them success to be in front in the match. Doubt stranger than darts, I tell you. There's no stranger game than darts. It looks a very simple sport.
100.
3 pointy things,
Andy, you
round thing on the
require
wall,
85.
as many as you can. Equipment wise, it looks simple.
60.
I think everybody's had a
Mark,
go
you
at
require
throwing a dart at some
72.
point in their life and realise how difficult it is to be accurate.
Yeah, I think Bobby George put it well, didn't he, when he said it's an easy game to play, but a hard game to play well.
52. Andy, you require 25.
And has anybody ever mastered it? I'm not sure.
Well, you
70.
usually miss more than you hit,
Mark, you require
and that's
20.
what's happening here. But Dudbridge needs to hit. If he doesn't, Davidson could extend his lead and will be throwing
Game shot on a fourth
for the
flag.
match. So
Mark
that is an
Dudbridge.
important moment for Mark Dudbridge.
A big important moment. And when you get to
Fifth flag. It's Andy to throw first.
his length of tooth,
Game on.
you realise those moments are changing points in the game, and
108.
you have a chance to change them.
Two.
Andy Davidson there going, well, I couldn't hit a double. I can hit 180s. This is second of this match.
125.
Following this, Jimmy Van Schie against Reece Colley. Then Charlie Large takes on Dudbridge.
57.
Interesting, actually, that Daryl Fitton was the player that was supposed to be in this group instead of Charlie Large. And he is a lot more
17.
methodical than any of these players. So it would have been interesting just to throw that little slow-burning grenade in there.
So he's one of those that's very accurate with it as well. I remember him hitting a 9 dart somewhere and winning a car.
Yeah, great guy. I hope we do have him back here soon, but other commitments clashed.
100.
He's a superb ambassador for the sport. He's not one that you look at and go, oh, he's in your face and all that, telling everybody what he's doing. But I can tell you now, some of the messages that I've had to support varying things and other have come from Daryl saying we should get behind this, we should do this. He's a super man, is Daryl, and my son's favourite dart player of all time.
108.
Dazzling darts from Dudbridge.
85.
But that
shot on the 5th leg.
snatches
Andy
any hope
Davidson.
away of winning that leg as Davidson beds the bullseye for another
6th leg. It's Mark to throw
leg
first.
won in
Game on.
5 visits. Every single leg he's won tonight has been in 5 or fewer.
140.
Yeah, that's some stat as well, and lots of players I know in the Pro Tours do a practice routine that
140.
if they don't get out in 15 darts, they lose the leg.
But he's needed to do it like that, hasn't he? That's such has been the quality of his opponents as well. He's once again averaging in the mid-90s here.
137.
Like you say, Dudbridge is on 91 himself. He's not going away, is he? And
58.
that is the trait of the man that Mark Dudbridge is. Remember him back in the day with his little highlighted hair and all that, do you? I can say that because he's a friend. I get away with it.
133. Mark,
Yeah,
you
I'm sure
require
a few have followed over the
124.
years. Oh, yes.
120.
Well, we did say earlier he's such a follower,
Andy, you require 170.
Mark Dudbridge, and that's what he was thinking there, wasn't it?
Oh, that was nearly a double
83.
travel visit back at you
Mark, you
type
require 4.
visit. But it's 4 for Dudbridge.
He won't mind that dart. He'll mind that one. He needs to mind it to find
No
the target.
I was going to say, you had to mind them
Andy,
both.
you
And he,
require 87.
such unfortunate there. 3 perfectly darts thrown, just didn't go in their target. That
28.
can't be said for Davidson on this
Mark, you
this
require
occasion.
4.
This time then, Mark. This time? This time might be the last time.
No score.
And now Davidson can get
Andy,
the job
you
done.
require 59.
And you expect him to as well.
Game shot.
Davidson
and the
does
match,
it.
Andy Davidson.
He defeats Dudbridge. That win is handy for Andy, but Mark yet to get off the mark. Having been the favourite to win this group, Dudbridge is left rooted to the foot of the table with no points from 2 matches. Davidson gets his first victory. Jimmy Van Schie on 2 points as well, but Charlie Large, the man to beat so far. That is Dudbridge's next opponent as well in a couple of games' time. But before that, Van Schie will take on Reece Colley.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Lounge.
They've both got the talent where they can reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeats. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
Well, what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree.
Only
needs the one.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you
Lebanon.
saying about efficiency?
Game shot on the third leg. Reece
Is that
Robinson.
the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it.
Game shot.
And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so.
Andreas Harrison.
Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Lebanon. Game shot.
Smith, is it a
Darius
a
Labanowski.
9? A long time, and that clenched fist.
Game shot. Undermark.
He gets the job
Andreas
done
Harrison.
in the end. He's nodding in total
Shot on the
agreement
second
because
leg. Game shot on the fourth leg.
Just
Darius
like that.
Labanowski.
he needs the one. There you can see.
That she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality from Harrison. This would be a wake-up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great dive.
Game shot on the first leg. Andreas
It's a
Harrison.
breaker throw for Andres Harrison.
Game shot on the second leg. Dan Crabtree.
Consecutive breaker throw, double 16 is found.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Reece, Colley and Jimmy Van Schie are enjoying a little bit of banter before the serious action gets underway. And it may be serious for Reece Colley because he lost his first game to the league leader Charlie Large. Jimmy Van Schie looking to go level with Large on 4 points by matching his record of winning his first two, a 4-1 win for Van Schie against Mark Dudbridge earlier on, who has just gone on to lose his second game against Andy Davidson.
First leg, it's Jimmy to throw first.
That's another thing with Group
Game
B.
on.
After a few games, you can start looking over your shoulder at the table. Because as we said earlier, once you've played a couple and a quarter of your games are gone, you start
60.
thinking ahead. Jimmy Van Schie in his last game against
59.
Dudbridge had the highest average of the night so far with a 97.42, and his scoring was absolutely phenomenal.
85.
I know a few of you might be joining us having watched a different darts tournament. The World Cup action on night one has just
85.
come to an end. Just to recap what's happened here. Charlie Large winning 2 games, 4-2 against Davidson, 4-2 against Colley. Davidson since beating Mark Dudbridge 4-2, and Van
100.
Schie also beat Dudbridge earlier on this evening 4-1.
That's fine with my little life. Somebody's changed their barrels.
100.
It does look like that, doesn't it, Reece Colley? Trying something different.
100.
He's gone back to his original darts that I remember him throwing when I roomed with the young man.
97. Jimmy, you require 156.
Wasn't it Tommy Morris who changed his barrels recently after a dart swap
100.
challenge with,
Reece,
I
you require
think it was Niall Cullerton last
160.
week? And Morris liked the barrels so much in the dart swap challenge, he started using them.
I have a funny feeling it was
59.
the tail
Jimmy,
end
you
of it. I think he
require
kept the same
56.
barrel. I think it was the stem and flight system.
Yeah,
he
sorry, not
changed.
barrel. Yeah,
Yeah.
meant to say stems.
Game shot on the first leg. Jimmy Van Schie.
And now I'm really old. I think I'm supposed to be calling them canes because otherwise that will get dropped from our darting. You know, the
Second
old guys
leg,
call
it's
them
Reece to
canes
throw
and
first.
flights.
Game on.
Canes, shafts, stems.
The bit that holds the flight, anything will work.
140.
Well, Jimmy gets to work, wins the first leg. Colley responds with a 140. Van Schie says, I'll see it and I'll raise it.
180.
That's his third of the evening
100.
for Jimmy Van Schie.
$60. 140. 116. Reece, you require 121.
1-2-1 then. Treble 17. Not getting a go at the ball. Michael in the chat asking when the lineup for next week is going to be announced. Stay tuned.
Jimmy,
It's going to be announced very, very shortly. Keep
145.
watching tonight.
$105. Reece, you require 36. Game shot on the second leg. Reece Colley.
Nicely done there from Colley.
Third leg. It's Jimmy to throw first.
Maybe an England
Game on.
teammate of yours, Scott, but earlier this week, Henry Deacon and I were tasked with putting together
60.
some potential World Cup style teams for the Super Series, just Super Series players. And I have to tell you, Scott, Henry did not put you in his England team.
140.
No, that surprises me. Don't you worry, next time we're commentating, I'll put his head in his laptop.
140.
For that, how can I be England captain and not be in? Unbelievable.
Well, we do have a camera in the commentary box, so we'll look forward to that.
100.
I'll see if he can come in tonight.
I'll just ask him if he's seeing things clearly and just puts his head towards the screen.
140. 100. Jimmy, you require 161.
Both on big uns. The same one. May look at the ball.
90. Reece, you require 161. 91. Jimmy, you require
Important
71.
last start there from Colley, but 71 now for Van Schie. 18 for top, surely. Tops it is.
51. Reece, you require 70.
There's a chance for Colley. Should get one at it. That's tops. Gone slightly to one side. Has a good look.
Game shot on the third
nicely
leg.
done.
Reece Colley.
Nicely done. Those are the ones that hurt. Once you've had a dart at it yourself.
Fourth leg. It's Reece to throw
And you
first.
can see what Jimmy Van
Game
Schie
on.
thinks about that.
100. 60. 95.
Well, tonight continues to race along at speedy pace.
100.
Some would say it's a chaotic pace.
59.
No Jimmy, no party, someone said in the chat. I saw someone ask earlier on, do we think Jimmy will win the week because of the crowd? He really did
100.
the Pompey audience on his side when he won his week, and lots will want to come back and see him again. In fact, about half the tickets have already
59.
been sold for this week, and maybe part of it
100.
is because Richie Burnett is there, but some of it is because some want to see Jimmy Van Schie back on his stage.
135. Jimmy, you require 61.
Double 18.
25. Reece, you require 53.
Once again, these are the big shots. He should get two here. No, he's only going to get the one. Was thinking about the second dart too much. He hit it with one dart last
Game shot
time.
on the fourth
He's
leg.
hit it with
Reece
one dart
Colley.
this time.
Look at the reaction from Van Schie in the background. He's shaking his head.
Fifth leg. It's
He
Jimmy to
can't
throw
believe he
first.
finds himself in this
Game on.
position. But Colley's causing chaos.
29.
Jonathan in the chat pouncing on my mistake. Murphy doesn't know the difference between barrels and flights. Well, I do actually, Jonathan.
100.
Barrels are what you put beer in, and flights are how you get on holiday.
59.
Yeah, how you go on holiday to get the beers in. That's exactly right.
60.
He's been very good at following himself. We spoke about Dudbridge as a
125.
first start merchant, but Jimmy Van Schie this week has been very good at following that first start in the treble 20.
94.
I'd imagine he's also very good at changing light bulbs that you can't reach without a ladder.
140.
Could change a light bulb in a lighthouse from the ground floor.
59. Jimmy require 148. 54.
Once again, Jimmy Van Schie seems to be in control of a leg, but Colley's just in that perfect position to pounce. That's kind of been the story of the game.
42.
Not much
Jimmy
pouncing going on
require
there, mind.
94. 58. Reece require 146.
Yeah, 146. The new way is to go treble 19,
58.
treble 19,
Jimmy
double
require
16. Not to be for
36.
Colley that time. 36 for Van Schie.
Game shot on the fifth leg. Jimmy Van Schie.
He needed that. There have been too many missed opportunities for Van Schie in this game. He's had
Sixth
twice
leg. It's Reece to throw first. Game
as
on.
many darts at double as Reece Colley in the match, but Colley hasn't missed any.
100. 97. 67. 180.
Starting to strut his stuff now.
Yeah. Van Schie with 180, number
100.
3 for him in this match. He still trails by 1.
100.
How did he get that in there?
Forcefully is the answer. Very forcefully.
He'll be using the bull here.
89. Jimmy, you require
25 would have left him the
124.
170. Smart thinking from Colley.
92. Reece, you require 145.
Van Schie perfectly placed to win the leg and force a decider. But Colley can stop him. Good effort.
Yeah, is he going treble 10 here?
120. Jimmy, you require 32.
To take it all the way. Caught the stanchion.
16.
And now
Reece,
Colley
you require 25.
can win it. Hasn't missed a dart at double. Has now.
21.
And maybe he's missed a couple that matter here.
Jimmy, you require 16.
Yeah, it wasn't the time to start missing, was it? To be fair to Jimmy, he deserves a go at this.
Made it hard for himself.
Game shot on the sixth
He's
leg.
been very
Jimmy
good
Van
at
Schie.
getting past blockers. And he's now caused deadlock.
Seventh and
with
final
Reece
leg. It's
Chaos
Jimmy to
Colley.
throw first. Game on.
Perfect first start. That this time he's having to toss one over.
100. $42.
Now, what's probably going through Colley's mind is that, has he thrown this away?
84.
And then that is a massive last start.
50. 140.
Well, Colley had his match start. He missed a couple at
140.
And now Van Schie looks like he's racing away with this decider.
99.
He's a double trouble visit here, does Colley.
59.
I think he's resigned
Jimmy
to the fact that
78.
he had his chance.
Well, he's reacted there, but that's probably a help.
Game shot and the match.
And it proves to
Jimmy
be
Van
so,
Schie.
because he didn't block tops. He hit it, and then he hit double 10 as well. And Jimmy Van Schie has turned that one around. That will be a bruising defeat for Reece Colley, who remains pointless along with Mark Dudbridge, having led the game 3-1 and missed 2 darts at double for the match, having not missed any darts at double before those. Van Schie has managed to nick it at the death with a good last leg. He wins 4-3. He doubles his points tally and is level with Charlie Large, who's top of the table. He's going to take on Mark Dudbridge after the break, and we are going to reveal who will be playing at the Super Series next week. Welcome back. Well, that was pretty breathless stuff that we've seen so far. Fast, furious, and fantastic at times, Scott.
Yeah, lovely to watch as well. You know, there isn't a game that you can take your eyes off of it. All being played at a lovely pace, all when we're seeing everything. Ton plus shot outs, 180s, and that's what the pace of the games are doing for each other.
Yeah, and a couple of wins for a couple of players. Charlie Large and Jimmy Van Schie both winning their opening matches. We talked about how the bookies couldn't separate the players, and it's turned out to be wise to keep them closely bunched, hasn't it? Because the favourite, Mark Dudbridge, he hasn't got a win to his name yet.
No, and obviously the bookies didn't expect Charlie Large to be in this position at this stage of the evening so far. But for Charlie, he's got to be careful now, not worry about what he's done. It's all about what he's going to do. And he's got to keep his head on it and try and get those a couple more wins tonight if he can get them while he's got the momentum.
What have you made of what you've seen from Charlie tonight? Because to me, he looks like a different person to the one we've seen before here.
I absolutely agree. I think, yeah, we know he's the local lad. He's from 5 minutes up the road. So sometimes that puts pressure on when you're here, but didn't have a great deal of notice coming in, didn't have a lot of time to think about it, but I think maybe he's been working on his game. There's a slight change of equipment, and that's definitely working for him. He looks very assured and very commanding.
Yeah, level on points with Jimmy Van Schie. That could have been different. He really had to turn it around, didn't he, in the previous match against Reece Colley?
Yeah, something that Jimmy's added to his game with his age. He's got the experience. He played a lot of youth stuff in Holland, so match experience he has. He's now got to start believing in that experience, and then he will start doing things like he's doing now.
Yeah, big win for the big Dutchman in that one. Another player that's played really well without really getting the results that maybe his performances have deserved, Andy Davidson. What have you thought of him tonight?
Well, that's what I thought of him since I first met him. I don't think he plays too many bad legs. You've got to turn up and give it a big leg to get him, and he makes sure he makes himself difficult to beat. And I think that's all you can do as a dart player, and along with that, continue for him.
Yeah, but Dudbridge and Colley at the foot of the table. No points for either player. You can see it there, Scott. It's going to be a long way back, but in this group, you do always feel in it, don't you, until you're mathematically out.
It doesn't matter whether you're fourth or fifth. You're looking at the guy in third all the time when you're in Group B, if you're not in the top two. It's one of those. They'll feel that they're just a couple of wins, and it turns the table on its head in Group B.
Absolutely. Well, a couple of players struggling in this group so far, but next week we've got a couple of very, very familiar faces.
Game, shot and the match, Scott Taylor! Game, shot and the match, and the Modus Super Series champion, Jim McEwen!
Yeah, two of our Super Series champions, Jim McEwen and Scott Taylor. They're going to be returning next week. And here's who they're going to be returning alongside. Neil Duff, of course, who won that double start week as well. He's had some great success here as well. Brian Roman, part of that Group A, along with a couple of ADC qualifiers. In Group C, watch out for Daniel Stevenson, just 16 years of age. He joins Anthony Allen and the ADC qualifier Terry Nash. And in Group B, some very experienced players, John Worsley, Kevin Painter and Paul Hogan. The lineup once again delivers, Scott.
Yeah, it does. And obviously, I've just been at an internationals weekend with England, and Terry Nash was absolutely superb there. He's quite a rapid, fast player. And I'm looking forward to seeing him next week to see how he goes, because he really is the guy in the bubble at the minute.
And just a word on those two champions. Andres Harrison, we've already seen. He lost. He didn't make it through his title defence. Well, it's over for now. We'll see if he maybe gets a 2-day stint later on. But very first match on Monday, Scott Taylor against Jim McEwen. That'll get the juices going, won't it?
Well, if you can't get excited over former champions at this place, there's nothing you can get excited over. Two very contrasting styles, but both very determined characters, and both have good memories on this stage, and something we'll have to give first thing on Monday morning.
Absolutely. Well, it's all about getting to Saturday here at the Super Series, and there are, well, one player is already through, Richie Burnett, and there's some exciting players that could be there on Saturday night, and tickets are flying fast at dartshop.tv, so make sure you head there and get yours to be here on Saturday night.
Every Saturday, we open our doors for our weekly finals night.
For a unique and intimate darts experience.
Meet the Dart Stars and even the team off the telly.
Here at our purpose-built venue in Portsmouth.
Every single Saturday evening.
Tickets can be booked via this QR code
Or at www.dartshop.tv for a very small booking fee.
Follow us at MSS Darts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok.
For all the latest ticketing news.
All you need to do, log on, book, turn up, and the action gets underway from 7:30 p.m.
So what are you waiting for?
Get your tickets to the darts.
We look forward to welcoming you to the Modus Super Series very soon.
Yeah, I'll be here. Scott will be here. You can be here as well. But will either of these players be here? Charlie Large might be about to sell a few tickets himself because he has got a huge local following. I'm sure all of the family, friends and other local darts players in the area that support him will be coming along to watch if he makes it through. And a win here would see him edge ever closer. In fact, if he wins this game, he's probably looking at the prospect of maybe needing one more win tonight or tomorrow, and he can be on the stage rather than in the seats on Saturday. Mark Dudbridge, though, is out to stop him.
First
he needs
leg,
to get a
it's
win
Charlie
quick
to throw
if
first.
he has got finals
Game
night
on.
intentions on his mind.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I wonder if Charlie Large will invite his hairdresser, his lucky hairdresser that he's had.
85.
He's done special.
$60.
Yeah, Dudbridge knows here that he needs to stop the rot and quickly, and
44.
he also knows a win here would kind of turn the table on its head a little.
46. $84.
If you can't, of course,
86.
join us here on a Saturday night. The action, of course, will be live here on the YouTube channel. 7:30 p.m. it all gets underway. I don't think there's any better Saturday night
46.
TV.
Yeah, I have to say it's something I do quite often.
133.
Flick onto the YouTube channel and watch how some of my buddies are going. Charlie Large is on it again here.
140.
And you just have to question Mark Dudbridge's decision making there. In the previous visit, had he gone for a bullseye, hit the 25, he'd be on a finish here with his final
85.
dart.
Charlie require 102.
Double 18.
84. Mark, you require 91.
Yeah, backing himself there for the treble 17. I like
51.
that move.
Charlie, you require 18.
Took the decision to split, and now
No score.
asking
Mark, you
big
require
questions of
40.
himself, and Dudbridge now is going to get himself back in the leg
Action on the
that
first
he
leg,
wasn't
Mark
even
Dudbridge.
in. It has to be said.
Second leg, it's Mark to throw first. Game on. $85.
And those legs, when you're a player, they make it more. They feel like they're worse legs than they actually are.
122.
When you play them and you lose a leg like that, you in your head you're thinking, "Oh, that was terrible. How did I make that mistake?" When you actually watch it back, actually it was just the one mistake, which was the double, the go at the double six for
100.
Charlie Large there, and missing it into the 10, and then that destroys your confidence with one dart in your hand at double one. But it's one of those that stays in your mind and go, oh, I made the wrong
96.
decision, but he probably didn't. All things a young man has to learn as he goes through his darting life.
59. $58.
He has had this perfect start, but it is an interesting Group B. A win here, and he's
60.
very close to getting through, but defeat, and it could all turn around. Could easily get an evening where the players have a share of the spoils, and we don't get a runaway leader.
58.
I have to say Charlie Large has just gone a little stale here. He lost his own throat, and that was annoying him, and now
99. Charlie, you require 167.
not a million miles away. This would bring him back into it.
Yeah, you mentioned the word there, annoying. I think that annoyance is evident as
93.
well. You could just
Mark,
see
you
him
require
reacting a little
98.
bit as he wandered back. That's the tell that we didn't see in his first two
Game
games.
shot on his second leg, Mark Dudbridge.
And you can see it now.
Third leg, it's Charlie to throw first.
This is when you need
Game
character. This is when you find out about yourself.
96. $80. 48.
Lost the scoring boots now, hasn't he? Charlie Large, you can now see him physically getting frustrated.
45.
He's not out of this in any way, shape or form. Dudbridge is not punishing him, and this is better from Large.
135.
They're on course to be clawing a leg back here. The difference in the first two games was when he
60.
suffered a blow, when he lost a leg, he really focused and made sure he won the next one. And there we saw him lose a leg, react, and then go on to lose the next one.
140.
This is a better way of responding.
Yeah, it looks easy when you respond like this, but I can tell you inside your heart is beating 10 to the dozen. You got to put your foot to the
95.
hockey and your knee
Charlie,
is
you
trembling
require
at times.
82. $42.
Got to where he wanted to be in the end.
$90. Charlie, you require 40.
And he went with that one. Been watching Richie Burnett too much this week.
35. Mark, you require 131.
Once again, he hasn't left himself on anything that he can really get his
43.
teeth into.
Charlie,
So
you require 5.
got to be positive here.
Game shot on the
Nicely
third
finished
leg,
in the
Charlie
end.
Large.
And a leg that he thoroughly deserved, but when you're 2-0 down and
Fourth leg, it's Mark to throw first.
you feel that life
Game
is
on.
getting you down and the dartboard is getting you down, it's a very difficult shot, is 5 to get your opening leg of a match. And he
82.
did it comfortably.
$96.
Perfectly pitched opening dart by Dudbridge.
100.
Disappointed not to have followed. with neither 2 nor 3.
Yeah, especially when you've got such a good marker, smack bang middle, and he probably,
39.
if he went up there and hand placed that, he couldn't have put it in a better spot for the type of dart that he throws. So yes, he will be disappointed with that. But he's going to try and make up with it with this.
108.
That's better.
2.
And the senior star on course to take down the
77.
teenage talent.
Mark, you require 139. $87.
Now, what a set-up shot that is.
$100. Mark, you require 52. Game shot
Full
on the
focus,
four
though,
flag.
from
Mark Dudbridge.
Mark Dudbridge determined to pick up some points for the first time in this group.
Fifth flag. It's Charlie to throw first. Game on.
Let us know in the chat what you think of next week's lineup. Who do you fancy to take the title? Could it be one of our former
100.
champions in Scott Taylor or Jim McEwen? Will Neil Duff stop them from getting through to Champions Week? Or maybe you know something about one
58.
of the different names. Daniel Stevenson, 16-year-old, making his debut. Anthony Allen and Terry Nash back for a second go.
135.
And those experienced players in Group B. John Worsley, Kevin Painter and Paul Hogan. Scott Taylor, by the way,
121.
who won the title a couple of series ago, has made 10 appearances here at the Super Series. And he's also played on Saturday night 10 times as well. A perfect record.
182.
Nobody has done more than that. Nobody can get more than that we've just seen from Charlie Large to leave 86. He's still fighting.
81. Charlie require 86.
Yeah, definitely has those battling qualities, and he's going to have to
46.
find them here. He's back to tops and tens where he feels more at home.
73. Charlie, you require 40.
On the wire.
20.
He will be back, but he'll be disappointed that he didn't see that off nice and clean. And send a message out to Mark Dudbridge.
140. Charlie, you require 20.
Dudbridge has applied the pressure here. This is to save his skin. For Charlie Large, just a little smirk. He knows this has got tougher, but he finds it at the crucial moment.
Charlie Large.
Last chance, last dart in hand. And his unbeaten run remains intact for now.
Sixth flag. It's Mark to throw first. Game on.
He's going to have to break here, though.
93.
Where is the momentum? Is the momentum with
96.
Charlie Large, or is having won the last leg, or is it with Mark Dudbridge, because he knows he cannot afford to make any mistakes
123.
on his own throw.
In this situation, Scott, does
59.
what's happened up to this point in the night make a difference? The fact that Large hasn't lost, the fact that Dudbridge hasn't won?
It can do, but of course you get to the
38.
point where you like to get that monkey off your back, don't you? And sometimes when you're winning, your head's telling you, I've got to lose one sometime, I've got to lose one sometimes. And sometimes you then force that to happen to you rather than throw with freedom. And yeah, it's one of those, but another good visit from Large there. He needs to back it again now that Dudbridge has hit a treble.
98.
So he has to throw 3 straight ones here. Minimum requirement. That's straight enough for me.
81. Mark, you require 149.
So it looks like treble 20 to start. It's going to stay there.
95. Charlie, you require 125.
He will start on the bullseye here, surely. Now he comes out. Oh, now he goes up.
105.
Good effort.
Mark, you
Good
require
effort from
54.
Charlie Large, but you feel the writing's on the wall. Is Dudbridge going to get his first win?
Tops for that first
Gate
victory.
shot and the match, Mark Dudbridge.
And Dudbridge is off the mark. He cuts Large down to size. It's actually a result that means that Large is taken off the top of the table temporarily. Jimmy Van Schie replaces him after Large loses for the first time in Group B, and Dudbridge wins for the first time in Group B. Wasn't the prettiest performance we've seen this evening, and look at all those missed darts at double from Large, 13 of them resulting in just 13% success. Dudbridge was more deadly, and that was the difference. Coming up then, Jimmy Van Schie protecting his unbeaten record. He takes on Andy Davidson.
Well, welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Here we are on day 1 of Group B of week 4, and we're 6 games in. And if you just joined us, you saw Mark Dudbridge beat the local man Charlie Large to get his first points on the board for his 3rd game. And
First leg, it's Andy to throw
join
first.
us in what's going to be an exciting game. We've might not be the same size in stature, but they're the same pace of throw, and that will suit both
100.
Andy Davidson and Jimmy Van Schie, you feel, in this match.
Yeah, it feels like potentially the standout tie of the evening.
140.
Of course, both players were in Group A earlier in the week, finishing second and third respectively. Van Schie, though, did finish 6 points clear of Davidson, had the better campaign in that group. Although when they met yesterday, Davidson won the match 4-1, getting revenge on the reverse result on Tuesday. And when they met on Monday, it was also 4-1. That in the favour of Jimmy Van Schie. So
60.
All three of the games between them going just 5 of a possible 7 legs.
100.
Yeah, an interesting stat that really, because you think, oh, you know, the last match doesn't matter or whatever, but when you've played each other 3 times within such a short space
60.
of time, this wouldn't usually happen at a tournament or any other thing. It would be a few weeks between matches.
Game shot of first leg, Andy Davidson.
Flying in there from Andy Davidson, and nice generous bit of appreciation there from
Jimmy to throw first.
From Jimmy.
Game on.
And it's another 15 darter from Davidson.
140.
The frequency of him doing that is very, very impressive, and he'll win a lot of legs and a lot of matches playing at that standard. I'm not just talking about here at the Super Series. If he does indeed fulfill his wish and progress to becoming a PDC Pro
95.
next year or whenever that may happen, he'll win plenty of games on the Pro Tour as well doing that.
45.
Holding a Pro Tour is still has the feel of the promised land for
100.
many players, particularly the youngsters.
134.
I think back in my day, we never really saw
58.
darts as being an opportunity as a job. There was just the 1 or 2 pros back in those days.
92.
Have to play and throw
Jimmy,
something special to live up
108.
to them, but with all the opportunities of TV coverage like this,
Game shot on a second
these
leg,
young lads
Jimmy Van Schie.
would have been nervous as a kitten back then, but now the opportunities are.
Third leg, it's Andy
they
to throw
just
first.
take every opportunity that comes to them. They throw with freedom because they know if you care too much, that's just you stopping you.
140.
Once again, this is a mighty impressive encounter from two young men who, particularly in Andy Davidson, we probably didn't know him more than sort of just over a month ago.
Yeah, such a high standard. In the
85.
previous leg, it was Van Schie who produced a 15 darter in response to the same from the Scots.
85.
Both hovering around that high 90s mark in the averages. Both have taken out
100.
a 3-figure finish in the match.
$58.
All we haven't had yet
85.
is a maximum.
$108.
Right on cue. We keep talking about commentators' curse, but we
Game shot on the third leg, Andy Davidson.
blink of an eye, I didn't even get it out. There you go, 97. Another Bosch finish.
Fourth flag, it's Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
And Davidson takes the lead in this match, 2-1.
Yeah, all 3 legs won in 5 visits to the hockey.
140.
Davidson's average now reaches 3 figures. Van Schie in a similar position himself. Well, it would have been, but for that dart scoring, nothing.
That was definitely in there, wasn't it?
140.
Davidson says, that's not going to affect me.
Yeah, really good game of darts, living up to expectations.
58.
And let's not forget, these were 2 players that were relatively unknown before they rocked up here in the previous series.
140.
The old saying is what a difference a day makes, but the Modus Super Series allows you a full week, and what a difference that can make.
Yeah, very much so.
41. And you require
Wimbledon's
81.
on next week, and I wonder what Jimmy Van Schie, what speed he could serve at tennis.
57.
Isn't that high? I do like that camera angle from the top of the board. It shows exactly where both players stand on the hockey when they approach it.
Andy, you require 24. Game shot on a 4 flag. Andy Davidson.
Well, we said at the start of this game, all of their meetings this week have been 4-1
Fifth flag,
scorelines.
it's
2
Andy
of them
to
to
throw
Van Schie,
first.
1 of them to Davidson.
on.
They might be levelling up that record here. A strange little quirky statistic, but it's heading that way
96.
again.
Yeah, that 97 finish at the end of the leg before was the one that rocked Van Schie, I think.
100.
And prompted him to have not one of his better legs in the match. That didn't worry
140.
Davidson, he just gets on with the job.
Well, this is a glorious game of darts,
140.
but it may be coming towards an end. Davidson will look for the 19 segment.
45.
Maybe just a little opening for Jimmy Van Schie. A cat flap for him to crawl through.
91. 42. Jimmy, you require 170. $60. 85. Jimmy, you require 110.
Well, Davidson took out this finish earlier on.
78.
Van Schie can't repeat
Andy,
it,
you
so now
require
Andy has the
93.
opportunity to complete the win. Quickly countered and quickly
57.
shot the dart, but Van Schie can now take
Jimmy,
his
you
shot.
require 32.
Yeah, attempted the double-double there on 72 on the double 18. No such problem for Van Schie. He just needs a single double of sorts.
Well, I don't know what he did in between throwing those two darts. Maybe went and put the kettle on.
16. Andy, you require 36.
But it's Davidson who gets
Game
the
shot
sweet
and the match.
success. The
Andy
4-1
Davidson.
thumping of Van Schie. Not happy to be defeated for the first time, but this group is now closing up. It was a really good game until that last leg, the nervy one at the end. 21 darts, everything before it was 15 darts or fewer, but Davidson gets over the line, 93.4 the average. He punishes those 5 misses at double by Van Schie and gets the victory that sees him go level on points with Van Schie and Large, and by leg difference, Andy Davidson is now top of the table. Coming next, it's the 2 players occupying the bottom 2 places as Mark Dudbridge takes on Reece Colley.
Hang on a minute.
Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's 100 quid down the drain already. Itching to hit the 180. He's gone for the maximum.
18 for the bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first out from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Schie.
Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable. starts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Double 4 for the title.
Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out, that's what he is, Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Bosh.
Pie Face is through, he gets
And he's absolutely buzzing.
It was a game for that Pie Face, dominated throughout.
Action continues here at the Modus Super Series as Thursday night moves into Friday morning. And the next game features the player in 4th place against a player in 5th place out of 5. Reece Colley really in need of a victory. Dudbridge got his win in his previous match, but of course for Mark, this is his last match of the night, so it will determine whether or not he goes level on points with the top 3. And Reece Colley,
first leg, it's Mark to throw first.
will then not be able to do that.
Game on.
He has 2 remaining, but no points to his name. Great game between Davidson and Van Schie before the break. Might be a little bit more angst and nervousness in this one, Scott.
57.
Yeah, possibly already.
The
guys know that it's now points mean prizes on the Group B table.
48.
And the loss here means it really is starting to creep away from them.
125.
Dudbridge got his win against Charlie Large, who at that point was top of the table and unbeaten. Everybody's now been beaten in this group, and it was a hard one for the bookies to price, and we can now see why. But if Reece Colley loses the game, he does start to get in danger of being cut adrift.
Yeah, and then you're asking special things of yourself
87.
for the last 5 games, and you're starting to think, I've got to win 4 out of 5 to have a remote chance of making it. When you're sat on 0 points, 4 out of 5, yeah, sounds possible to do, but it's very difficult when you're going with no confidence and no momentum.
100.
And it just shows the small margins in this game, because had he hit double 4 to beat Jimmy Van Schie, he'd actually be level on points with both Jimmy and Mark Dudbridge and would have the chance to be joint top at the end of this game.
58. Reece, you require 129.
Well, surprised that he went
105.
double there. No harm done in the end because he found the treble, but with Dudbridge not on a finish, that was a surprising choice.
It's probably because Dudbridge wasn't on a finish.
160.
Was why he
Reece,
went for it, and a nice
24.
big 160 there to put the pressure on Colley.
But
But
first leg, Reece Colley.
that didn't get to Colley at all as a breaker throw to him.
Second
you have
leg,
a point
it's
where
Reece
you're
to
here,
throw
and I've been there,
first.
and you lose
Game
a
on.
couple on the trot, and you just say, do you know what? I've done all the trying. I've done all the knowing how every dart
25.
leaving my hand is happening, I need to get on now and get my head down and make hay while the sun shines. I've got a bit of momentum. I've got to get going, and that 25 with the bounce out
100.
has not helped him whatsoever to start this next leg.
108.
Well, that will cheer Colley's fans up.
Yeah, it just means he's got 100 average this leg.
60.
Per throw, which is always good. Back in the early days of the England
85.
team, I remember reading somewhere that tons per leg were how you got picked to play for England. How many tons per leg you were hitting at the time? Because the average thing
100.
wasn't really like it is today.
$101.
Colley is
91.
starting
Reece require
to
110.
dominate this game. Double 18 to make
92.
it count.
Mark, you require
Dudbridge is going to need something
150.
special.
$134. Reece require 18.
Special it is, but will he get back?
Game
The
shot on
answer
a
is
second
no.
leg. Reece Colley.
Reece Colley is determined to try and get himself on the foot, off the foot of the table.
Third leg. It's Mark to throw first.
He's
Game on.
halfway there, but don't expect Dudbridge to throw the towel in. He's had a fantastic
60.
lengthy career from not doing that. We do see lots of players on all sorts of events and tours, and some of them, when they're in front, are absolutely superb, and when they're not in front, they are not the same player.
Yeah, Colley really front running very, very strongly here.
140.
Not going to make it 4 perfect darts. We haven't seen a 9-dart finish this year since
100.
Jared Cole hit one on the Super Series stage, and we should just mention that it is Jared Cole's birthday now,
93.
along with a couple of other players that have played here at the Super Series. Thomas Lovely, Mark McGeaney, also celebrating their birthdays today,
60.
as is Dennis Harbour.
Another one of my former England teammates, Dennis Harbour.
78. Reece
A
require
little run as well in the seniors
161.
at the Circuits Tavern a couple of years back.
137. Mark, you require 130.
Good leave by Reece. No leave by
58.
Dudbridge in that visit,
Reece
so Colley
require
comes back.
24. Game shot on the third leg. Reece Colley.
3 doubles from 4, pretty impressive. 75%.
Fourth leg.
on
It's
the
Reece to
outer
throw
ring.
first. Game on.
Colley here, and as he started to build that momentum that
100.
I said he would need.
$137.
Nice last start there. Realised he had to switch, to go for the
58.
open target, and I must confess it's not something I do enough of. Keep watching these guys, I should be picking some of it up.
140. $139.
Well, Colley on course here for what would be the first whitewash win of the
60.
evening. And it just shows you how unpredictable this group is, because that coming from the player who hadn't picked up any points before this game.
135. Mark, you require 164.
Can Dudbridge stop him with a moment of pure magic?
132.
Good leave in the end.
Reece, you require 69.
Yeah, this group is definitely like the championship of football here in the UK. Anybody can beat anybody.
Game shot and the match.
Top and bottom,
Reece
and what a finish. He was asked a question there, Reece Colley. 69 checkout. Very nice indeed. One dart again at tops. He gets his first points of the night, and we get our first 100 average of the evening as well there. Reece Colley, you wouldn't have said he was bottom of the group, but now tops up with a 100 average. Dudbridge, not too shabby, 93 either. We will leave you for a moment, but when we return, we will have Jimmy Van Schie playing Charlie Large.
Well, somebody in this group is going to get to 6 points. Would it be that man there, Charlie Large, or would it be his opponent, Jimmy Van Schie? They play their final match of the evening. One of them's going to end up with a record of 3 wins from 4 and will have, if not a foot, then maybe a toe in finals night with that tally. Charlie Large won his first couple of matches. So did Jimmy. They've since lost the game. Who will put it right and who will end probably quite disappointed, Scott? If you lose your last 2 games, having won your first 2, you might spend the last few moments before you close your eyes and go to slumberland thinking,
it's Jimmy
I could be in a better position than this.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. We said it at our little halfway brief meeting there and in the studio that, you know, for Charlie having won the 2 by then.
108.
So then not now win another one of his next 2. We know 6 is usually there and thereabouts for getting through, don't we? in this group.
84.
Should get you through in third place, and that would be the target for all the players before we started. Try and win 3 out of 4 this evening and
58.
get the hard work done.
$140.
No messing around at the start of the game from either player. Jimmy opening with a maximum. Charlie hitting a 140.
39.
Jimmy once again having a dart fall out.
97. $60.
Didn't like the light. Certainly won't like that.
65. Jimmy, you require 164.
Yeah, sensible option to move that way. Bullseye then for Van Schie.
130. Charlie, you require 115.
So
55.
what does Van Schie
Jimmy,
here
you
do? Does he
require
go straight at the 34 to split? He's going straight at it, isn't he? What a miss to hit a 2. Lucky one.
Game shot on the
Does
first
the
leg.
job.
Jimmy Van Schie.
I really, the way that he was staring with such intent, I thought he's going to go for this.
Well, he took care
Second
over the
leg,
big
it's
number,
Charlie
didn't
to
he?
throw first.
Players are accused of not doing
Game on.
sometimes on those kind of shots. Kept his focus, got his reward.
Yeah, agreed. I mean,
65.
if he'd have been sensible, he'd have gone for the double 17 in the top right-hand corner, and if he overpitched it and hit a 2, happy days.
One more game to come after this. Reece, Colley,
57.
fresh from that 4-0 win against Mark Dudbridge, will take on Andy Davidson, who, going into this match, occupied the top of the table, but whoever
121.
wins this game will replace him.
$95. $140. $182.
Turn this match for Jimmy Van Schie, and 6 on the evening already. 8 180s
59.
and 4 games. And he's not completed this one yet. We could see more.
60. Charlie, you require 116.
He'll get the chance to double his advantage with the break of
76.
throw here.
Jimmy, you require 109.
Treble 19 now then. Where's he go? Treble 18.
57. Charlie, you require 40.
Bit of a lurch with that one, a bit of shoulder.
Game shot on the
Nicely
second
done.
leg. Charlie Large.
By large.
I think his double in percentage on double
Third
10
leg,
would be
it's Jimmy to throw first.
very good indeed
Game
this
on.
evening. It seems to be his get out of jail double.
43. $96.
Yeah, Charlie not frightened to move there with the blocker.
100. $119.
And once again, more success for Charlie Large on the change of direction.
58.
Comes out to the clear target. Makes a successful visit of it. Has to do it again.
54.
Good timing, though, this from Jimmy.
140.
Maybe needed the full house, so Large here's got the opportunity to put himself on a nice checkout.
100. Jimmy, you require 160.
Very small argument that maybe a 25 would have been better, but it might not matter.
120. Charlie, you require 132.
Kind of rushed it a little bit for me, that last one. I know he's quite a pacey player. He'd hit 3 treble 19s already this leg.
Jimmy, you require
right when it
40.
needed it. Right when he needed it, it deserted him.
Awkward. Some
Game
dart.
shot on the third leg.
Some moment.
Jimmy Van Schie. Fourth flag.
Large
It's
needs
Charlie to throw first.
Shrug it off.
Game on.
Keep his head like he did in his first couple of matches tonight, when he kept responding to every blow
140.
with a barrage of brilliance.
$96. $97. $97.
Just noticed Jimmy's got the
140.
Ranji Bar logo on his sleeve, which is a dart playing bar that's very famous
58. Charlie, you
Holland.
require
If
124.
you've been a dart player and been on the circuit, you will know about players from that place.
84.
Good setup from Charlie Large. He will take aim at top for 2-2.
Charlie, you require 40.
What may be a very productive night.
Game shot on the fourth flag.
For a man
Charlie
who will
Large.
regard himself as potentially Portsmouth's premier player.
Fifth flag. It's Jimmy to throw first. Game on. $60. $100. $45.
There's a bit of inside to out when he released that one, was Jimmy.
57.
It's effectively a best of 3 shootout here now.
56.
We've come to the tense, nervous headache bit of it, where both are absolutely trying
59.
and trying. And the arm goes a little tight. And the darts are going a millimetre away from where you want them if you're aiming at a treble. And
66.
that is some recovery from Van Schie, and he knew it by his reaction going to the board.
Yeah, well, the way the group's gone, I think both players know that if they get this 1-1,
100.
just leaves them with the insurance policy tomorrow night.
$98.
Andy Davidson will think the same in the final game, but Reece Colley is out to stop him.
$137. $168. Charlie, you require 48.
Capital P pressure from Jimmy Van Schie. But what a marker.
Game shot on the fifth
And
flag.
boy, did he
Charlie
use
Large.
it. Charlie Large just shrugging off that pressure.
What pressure?
Sixth flag. It's Charlie
Seems
to throw
to be
first.
Charlie Large's middle
Game
name
on.
this evening.
Of course, if he wins this match, Charlie Large will find himself top of the table, replacing Andy Davidson, who
97.
can return there by winning his final game. If Jimmy Van Schie can win the last two legs, he will go top of the table.
100. $59. $80.
Seeing Jimmy Van Schie, is there a potential for a specials week being everybody over 6'4"? Could that happen?
We have had some giants on the Super
96.
Series stage. Always remember the match between Kordeka and Makuru Suzuki. I think there was 6'4" between them.
100.
I've got a feeling I was here that week as well commentating. Yeah, I remember that one.
Of course, Large is playing this week. Last week we had Small, didn't
57.
He's not as small as he looks. Another friend of mine.
140. $100. Jimmy, you require 81.
Here we go. For parity, the ball
56.
gave it a go, but Large can get the
Charlie,
win
you
here.
require 92.
Yeah, but which way does he go? Does he go 25? Or does he back himself?
Backed himself, but he's drifted with both darts.
52. Jimmy, you require 25.
Well, this is interesting. Everything's kind of gone wrong, though. He needs double five here. Look at that. Well, is he going to have to nestle in to that tiny portion to the left?
Where he's heading to stand,
Game
that's
shot on a
exactly
sixth flag. Jimmy
what he
Van
was
Schie.
aiming for, and that's exactly what he's done. Once again at the Super
Seventh and
Series,
final leg.
my
It's
eyes
Jimmy
have been
to throw
enlightened to new
first.
routes, how to
Game
finish legs, and I don't think I've ever seen that one before.
Charlie Large is sick as a chip at the moment.
140. $93. $83.
That's one of the darts of the week.
100.
Never mind the week. It's got the series so far.
Yeah, very much so for such a small shot out as well as 25. It was still special dart, and brave move to actually go that way to leave it as well for me.
57.
And he's
Jimmy,
putting
you
a great
require
leg to back it
98.
up. Large, floored by that skillful shot from Van Schie to win the previous leg,
58.
to get level. And now the Dutchman will take aim at tops when he returns. But what pressure will be applied? Plenty!
180. Jimmy, you require 40. Game shot.
Double
and
10
the match.
does the
Jimmy Van
job
Schie.
for the Dutchman and does for Charlie Large, who started his night fantastically with 2 wins, but that's all he got in the end. It's 2 defeats to follow and a victory for Van Schie that takes him to the top of the table. Well, all of the stats in that match don't tell the picture, because that double 5 he hit was remarkable, and that win sees him move into P1, but Andy Davidson can take that place back if he can defeat Reece Colley in the final match of the night. So one final match to come this evening, the opening night of Group B, game 10 of 10, and it's between Andy Davidson and Reece, Colley. It's an important game as well. This group is nicely bunched up. Every player has recorded points. Jimmy Van Schie has got 6 of them with 3 wins from 4. Andy Davidson and Charlie Large both have 2 victories, but Davidson could join Jimmy with a hat-trick of victories and could go top of the table. Would do if he beats Colley, who himself is trying to get to 4 points and could find himself in any position at the end of this match of 2nd, 3rd and 4th. If he loses the game, he'll stay where he is. If he wins it, he's going to go ahead of Charlie Large. He might well go ahead
It's Reece to throw
with Andy
first.
Davidson.
Game on.
Yeah, this group is fairly zipped by. I can't believe we're on the last game already. I'm ready for more.
46.
Well, could have the opposite night to that of Charlie Large as well, couldn't he, Reece Colley? Because he lost his first 2 games, but may win his last 2.
60.
And he did it in style, beating Mark Dudbridge 4-0 last time out.
100.
Yeah, with a very tidy 100 average and 4 from 6 on the doubles. And when you start doing that, that's when it keeps your
95.
average nice and high.
$58.
So one asking in the chat room, does Charlie Large have a nickname yet?
100.
Their comment is, I feel the possibilities are endless. Well, we might not go down that particular rabbit hole.
Maybe others had before us, and that's why
140.
Charlie doesn't have a nickname.
100. Reece, you require 157.
Don't think Davidson does either. Reece Colley certainly does. Chaos, and he's out to cause some here.
$97. Andy, you require 146. $96. Reece, you require 60.
So double 10.
40. Andy, you require 50. Game shot on the first leg. Andy Davidson.
He's another one very prolific on double 16 is Davidson. And
Second leg. It's Andy to throw first. Game on.
Reece will know that he had his chance there.
95.
He also knows that the easiest thing to do is hit a double when your opponent has just missed.
100.
It's allowing your opponent to miss and then you hit is the risk. Because they don't always
96.
miss when they go first.
$95. $100.
Colley may think about 19s here. Now we'll go for treble 20 to try and leave the finish.
96.
Had to leave the big fish. Not to be on this occasion.
95.
Davidson just doing his best to pummel that treble 20.
$40. Andy, you require 115.
Nicely done.
95.
Couldn't quite complete
Reece,
the
you require
combination, but Colley
170.
has got the biggest one of them all.
$105. Andy, you require 20. $10.
Well,
Reece,
an
you
opportunity
require
here
65.
Colley was not expecting to get. Can he take it? Rushed it a little, didn't he?
It's interesting watching Andy Davidson there
49.
behind him. He wasn't
Andy, you
watching, but
require
he
10.
saw and heard the Colley reaction, quickly turned round to see he got another opportunity he didn't expect.
6.
But he can't take that
Reece, you
opportunity.
require 16.
Well, that won't be easy. Between the posts.
No score. Andy, you require
Off
4.
target.
Game shot on a second leg. Andy Davidson.
These two know the importance of finishing well here.
Third leg,
game of the
it's
group
Reece to
and
throw first. Game on.
Yeah, felt like I was watching the European Championship football
100.
then for a moment. Last game of the group, and neither England nor Scotland could finish.
60.
I've had enough of them no-score draws. Thank you very much.
100. 100.
Broken my golden rule, haven't I? I've mentioned it. I mentioned the football. Got to game 10, Scott.
108.
Now there's some scoring.
Reece require 161.
And here's some finishing.
140.
Well, do you know what? I was going to give it the
Andy
full
require
Italian commentator goal then.
50. Reece you require 47. Game shot on a third leg. Reece
Nicely
Colley.
tidied up. Important to hold at that point. He'd already been broken in the first
Full
leg.
flag. It's Andy to throw
And he
first.
had chances to win the leg
Game
as
on.
well. But this Andy Davidson
100.
doesn't generally give his legs up. His scoring power, usually in the first 9, is so good. Whether you've got the
57.
momentum from the previous leg or not, he's not bothered about all that. He's just throwing with freedom, popping them into that treble
140.
as many as he can at each visit. Keeps the game very simple.
140.
Good dart for him.
100.
Only gets down to 161, but Colley needs a couple of trebles to join him in any kind of finishing range.
57.
Not happening. So
Andy,
Davidson
you
now
require
has 6 starts from
161.
this 161 and can stretch his lead.
65. 100. Andy, you require 96. 60. Reece, you require 147. 44. Andy, you require 36.
999. How much can he see?
18. Reece, you
Nearly
require
too close, wasn't it?
103.
Nearly too close with the first one on that 999, but 103 now. More than doable. He's been good on tops with one dart in his hand.
83.
Just didn't
Andy, you
quite throw
require
it, did he?
18. Game shot on a
And he's
full
punished.
flag. Andy Davidson.
Colley's dart on the border, but Davidson's finds a
Fifth
destination.
flag. It's Reece to throw first. Game on. 140. 140. 131.
Oh, the early exchanges are good here. In leg 5 of this one.
100. 85. 60. Reece, you require
So a couple of visits for
145.
Colley here to keep his night alive.
94.
He will be back at the 51. He'll be under immense pressure because his opponent's going to be on 62.
51. Game shot on a fifth
nicely
flag,
done.
Reece Colley.
It's nicely done from Davidson to put the pressure on, and then
Sixth
nicely
flag,
finished
it's Andy
from
to throw
Colley
first. Game on.
to say, I'm not good anywhere, my bab.
I thought he'd made a quick trip up here then, Scott, for a moment. Well, if you have,
needs another, and he gets it.
Haven't been watching all week, just a reminder of what's happened in the other groups. Group A was won by Richie Burnett.
42.
He is through to finals night. You can see him on Saturday if you manage to make it down to the live lounge or tune in. And in Group C, Shane McGurk and Killian McCormack, the two Irishmen, they share the lead. They are in the two provisional qualifying spots from that group, but will play each other in the opening round of fixtures tomorrow. That gets underway from 1 p.m. Tune in for some more darting delights. And this group will conclude at 10 p.m. on Friday night before the Super Series Showpiece Saturday session gets underway. 7:30 for finals night to see who will be the fourth player through to Champions Week.
59. Andy, you require 139. $43. Reece, you require 86.
Treble 18, double 16, the usual route here. It's going to have to do big 18 and
61.
ball.
Andy, you require 96.
Be this time, so 96 for Davidson. He's done this once already this evening.
60. Reece, you require
Went for tops
25.
to leave double 18, which is what he does leave in the end. 25 been a fun number this evening. Just asking Jimmy Van Schie. But it's no fun for Reece Colley,
Andy, you require 36.
who may have just surrendered the outcome of this encounter to Andy Davidson, who needs double 9, who hits double 9, and in doing so secures his spot on the top of the table at the end of the opening evening of Group B. It's a 4-2 win against Reece Colley. Wasn't the electrifying standard that we've seen him produce here at the Super Series, but it was effective enough to get the victory. Punishes Colley for a dozen darts missed at double, missing a dozen himself as well, but hitting 4 to Colley's 2. It means that Davidson leads the league table on 6 points. Colley stays joint bottom on 2, but everybody has something to play for tomorrow. All still alive, and we will dissect what has happened after this short break. Welcome back. Well, the last thing to do is analyse this evening's action. And Scott, right from the start, we felt it was quick, we felt it was good, and it kind of stayed that way for the most part, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. And there was players that dominated early doors, and then, with Charlie Large didn't manage to convert that into wins in his last 2 games. Davidson looks really sharp and really good, and looks good to be starting back on 0 for him, and he's sort of wading in with both feet, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. 10 matches played tonight. Here's what happened in them. Large winning his first 2, as Scott just said, but couldn't get any more wins to his name. But Andy Davidson and Jimmy Van Schie both winning 3 from 4, and they were the 2 players that we were talking about perhaps the most at the top of the show tonight, because they really have emerged as stars here at the Super Series.
Yeah, there's something here that's made them excel, and we continually talk about it's a purpose-built place for people to play their best, and people seem to come here and really enjoy playing here, and so why not? We're going to get the best out of some of these guys when they're here for their first, second or third time.
Never thought we'd be sitting here talking about a 25 checkout as the best finish of the evening, but darts is a sport about precision, isn't it? And Jimmy Van Schie, he got himself in a little bit of a mess, but boy did he bail himself out of it, Scott.
Yeah, he did, and the angle of dart and where he throws from so far over to the right-hand side, there was no route through without catching a flight. So the only way to go was to go right back over to the left-hand side and try and throw against the grain, if you like, and use the darts. And that's exactly what he did. He used the flight of the other one. You see it glance off, and right in that top corner, the strangest 25 shot you'll ever see. But wow, yeah, it was effective.
Yeah, worthy of going on to win that match as well. It's him and Davidson batting out for top spot. We said all night about Andy Davidson that he just got that ability. He was getting 15 darters, 14 darters left, right and centre earlier in the evening. He looks like a very strong contender to make it through to finals night.
Yeah, he just looks like a player that is just enjoying his game up there. He's doing the best of what he's got. And rather than him taking on the opponent and going, I've got to beat him, he's the sort that goes, I'm putting this 15 dart leg up here as many times as I can, and if you get me, well done to you, you get me, but if you don't, I'll be having you. And he's just concentrating on himself. He's not worried about what anybody else is doing. He's just trying to do that 15 dart leg.
Charlie Large, local boy, sitting in the middle of the table, had a great start to the night. What would your advice to him be coming into tomorrow? Because it could be a disappointing way to leave after losing his last couple of games.
I think you're absolutely right. I think maybe he was looking at the table while he was there on his 2 wins. Maybe he shouldn't have done. But again, he's just a young lad. He's 19 years old. He's learning about all these things. And we knew it was going to be a pretty even group. We knew people were going to win games that you weren't expecting to win. And Charlie got himself in a position where he was expecting himself to win. And he was playing well enough. But players seeing him at the top of the group step their game up a little bit. And we're just doing enough against him. I don't think he has anything to worry about just yet. We know that sometimes you get through on 6 points. It's possible. So, he needs a win tomorrow. But I would start the day tomorrow like he did today and have an open mind. If he needs to put it on 0 in his head, put the day on 0 in his head and go and win 2 games. And that should be enough to get him through.
Does Mark Dudbridge have something to worry about yet? Because he only won 1 match and he ended his night with a 4-0 defeat.
I don't think he's the sort of player that you tell him what he needs to do and he'll go and do it. He's that experienced. So, no, I don't think Mark will feel he's out of it at any point in time. 3 wins out of 4 tomorrow puts him right back in the mix. And it's achieving those 3 wins. I think he had a difficult start tonight. He played players that had already played, whereas he comes in a little bit cold into Group B, and he dropped on the guys that had already been Group A. So they've been playing yesterday, and it does make a difference. Mark won't have played here for a little while, and so they were first game. So I think that now that he's had today here, I think we'll see a different Mark Dudbridge tomorrow.
And I guess you could probably just say the same about Reece Colley.
Yeah, very much so. I think he was a little unfortunate. He's had a couple of mistakes and made a couple of errors and not quite done what he's hoped to have done. I don't know whether he's travelled up today to play tonight or whether he came up yesterday. That can make a difference. But again, he's now back into the rhythm of what the Super Series is all about, and there's no reason why he can't win 3 tomorrow.
Absolutely. Everyone's got points. It's a pretty close-looking table. As we said, Davidson and Van Schie on 6, Large on 4, Colley and Dudbridge on 2. It's all to play for, isn't it, Scott?
Yeah, and when you're at the bottom of that group, Colley and Dudbridge won't be looking to try and get the points at the top. They'll be looking at Charlie Large on 4 points, and they'll be he'll be their target tomorrow, as well as having to beat each other. It's one of those, you either come in with an open mind or you start targeting those at the top, and if you can get a win against one of those, it's a win you're not expecting. Maybe that gives you the boost to go on and win some of the other games.
We're going to see you again here on Saturday night. Who do you think is going to be on the stage for you to commentate on?
I think that the two that are at the top of the minute, I think will definitely be there. I think it's that third place that is up for grabs. I think we're going to see Jimmy and we're going to see Andy, and we're just going to see how that third place pans out. I think that's the one everybody's going to be going for tomorrow.
But we will do that tomorrow. Thank you for your company this evening. Thank you for yours as well. As always, don't forget another double session of darts here at the Super Series on Friday. 1 p.m. the action gets back underway for the conclusion of Group C, and then Group B from 10 p.m. in the evening. And that group is led by the Flying Scotsman, Andy Davidson. Good night. Oh, it doesn't matter what he does. If Andy Davidson does things like that.
Round off a near immaculate display. The bullseye. To finish in style.
Well, this is Scott against the Scott, and this Scott is doing remarkable things.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. 164.